My name is Annabi, and I'm the founder of Pomfret Podcasting Sports. Each week, this space is all about giving you a clear, engaging recap of Pomfret's most exciting athletic moments across the ice, the court, the mat, and beyond. With so many teams competing and so much happening, it can be hard to keep up, and that's where we come in. So take a breath, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let us do the heavy lifting for you. Without further delay, let's jump straight into this week's breakdown. So let's start with boys varsity hockey. The boys varsity team went through one of the most emotional stretches of their season, and it ended in unforgettable fashion. Earlier in the run, Pomfret dropped tough games to Winchendon, Dexter Southfield, Canterbury, and Westminster. These games weren't blowouts, but they were battles defined by small mistakes, missed chances, and incredible opposing goaltending. Against Canterbury, Pomfret hit post multiple times, generated plenty of chances, and played with intensity, but simply couldn't buy a goal. Sometimes hockey is cruel like that, but everything changes against Choate the other day. This game had playoff energy from the start. Choate struck first, exposing a defensive lapse, but Pomfret responded immediately. Rich Kavanagh tipped in a power play shot from Ian Sherman to tie it. In the second period, Pomfret transformed. They played faster, heavier, more physical. Will Norton scored a beautiful forecheck, and TJ Swinson buried another goal after a perfect setup from Nathan Dono. Pomfret then led 3-2. But Choate also wasn't finished. They tied the game late and they forced an overtime. But then came the moment. A bounce behind the net. A quick pass. Frank found in front. Goal. Game over. Pomfret wins 4-3 in overtime. That game wasn't just a win, but it was proof. Proof that this team could finish. It wasn't just a win, but this was proof. Proof that this team could finish and proof that resilience does matter. Now let's move on to girls varsity hockey. The girls varsity team delivered some of the strongest performances of the season. Against Worcester Academy, Pomfret exploded for a 6-0 win. Sydney Kelm was outstanding in goal, stopping 37 shots for the shutout. The offense came alive too, with goals from Angela Roach, Ashley Hart, Liv Bessel, Claire, Maeve Malloy, and more. Everything clicked. They followed that performance with another dominant win, shutting out Northfield Mount Herman 4-0. Later, Pomfret battled Westminster to a hard-fought 1-1 tie, proving that they can compete with anyone. Not every game went their way, with losses to Choate and others that tested the team, but the shutouts, the composure, and the defensive discipline showed their ceiling was extremely high. Now, what about boys JV hockey? They faced one of their toughest challenges against Portsmouth Abbey, falling 8-0. The reason why was because of injuries and many illnesses that had left the water depleted, but players stepped up into unfamiliar roles, and when the score was tough, there were important positives. Parker Paddock pushed the pace with speed and confidence. Though there was a huge score differential, this wasn't just a failure, but it was a learning moment. And this team responded days later, beating Pope Francis 7-5 in a high-scoring, fast-paced win. This proves that this team has more than they may seem. So, what about girls JV hockey? Despite a 5-4 loss to Loomis Shafee, the game was unforgettable. Cher scored early. Captain Charlotte tied it. The team danced during intermission. Confident, loose, ready. Goalie Georgie delivered one of the greatest performances of the season. 57 saves. 57. The Griffins tied the game late thanks to Malia's first goal of the season, but Loomis scored the winner in the final moments. Still, it was a performance full of heart, teamwork, and belief. Girls varsity basketball, they delivered one of their best wins of the season against Groton. Down 32-24 at halftime, Pomfret stayed calm, moved the ball, trusted each other, and they even played some defense. Then, late in the fourth quarter, they locked Groton down completely, holding them scoreless for straight 5 minutes. Pomfret closed on a 7-0 run. Final score, 56-54 to Pomfret. A comeback win built on composure and determination. They also earned a strong 53-7 win over Portsmouth Abbey, proving their consistency and growth. After a tough loss to Rectory, Pomfret's JV basketball bounced back in incredible fashion against Canterbury. The game stayed tight throughout. Neither team could create separation. Then came the turning point. Rowan Donovan caught fire from 3. Federico dominated the boards, and Alistair delivered one of the most complete performances of the season. 7 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, a near triple-double. Pomfret wins 49-45. The team showed selfishness, growth, and confidence. For girls JV basketball, they fought hard in a narrow 22-20 loss to Groton. They played strong defense, hit big shots, and competed until the final seconds. It wasn't the result they wanted, but it was progress nonetheless. The boys varsity basketball team faced tough opponents like Canterbury, Williston, and Westminster, but even in losses, they showed fight, keeping games close and competing at a high level. These games are building experience and preparing them for what's ahead. In the squash side of things, boys varsity squash faced Concord Academy in a match that came down to one player, Mark Yang, who was playing through injury. He was down 7-4 in the final game of their 5-game set, and most players would just fade in that point, but he didn't. Point by point, he fought back. He tied it to 7-7. Then he won it 11-7. Then Pomfret wins the match against Concord Academy 4-3, a performance defined by grit and mental strength. In girls varsity squash, the team delivered 2 incredible 4-3 wins over Suffield and KO. Both matches went down to their final games. Melly Appleton delivered under pressure, winning the deciding match to secure victory. These just weren't easy wins, but they were earned. Girls JV squash had total dominance. They swept their team 7-0 twice. Every player contributed, every match mattered, and their confidence is building fast. The wrestling team earned huge wins over Suffield and Trinity Pauling, showing depth, strength, and consistency. Even in losses, the team competed hard and proved they belong among strong competition. And that is all that we have this week. That wraps up everything we got this week. Pomfret athletes continue to compete with heart, resilience, and pride, and none of it happens without the support of teammates, classmates, families, and fans. Keep showing up, keep backing one another, and keep representing the different community the right way, win or lose. These moments matter, so does the culture we build around them. Thank you for tuning in, for listening, and for supporting Pomfret Athletics this week after week. Stay motivated, stay classy, Griffins, and we'll see you right back here next week.